podcast. Put your hands in the air. Hand us your wallet and your podcast. This is Michael and Jeremy, Steal Your Podcast. So welcome, Jeremy.
Hello, Michael Riley.
So the first thing I think that we should go over for this very first episode of the show is we have reconnected after several years. We've been best friends our entire lives and cousins, and it's been a hot minute. We've both been kind of living our lives. You've moved back into the local area, and you called me. You're like, I'm back, and you were like, I'm in North Carolina. I was like, so you're not back? and then you explained.
I was emotionally back.
Emotionally available, emotionally back, just not physically. But you're here on the weekends. Your job has you traveling a lot now.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me about that.
Well, like you said, North Carolina. It was North Carolina last week. Next week, New York, New Jersey. It's all over the country, man.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of actually refreshing, though.
Yeah.
Because I actually do have the weekends. I actually can be back on the weekends. Can make actual plans. What I was doing before, it was...
You couldn't.
You couldn't. Absolutely no way.
All right, and I'm sure based on the brief conversations we've had prior to this, you've definitely gotten into some shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe a little bit here and there. Life's wild.
Yeah. So we're reconnecting now. Yes, so the first thing that we did was, let's see each other. I'm back over the weekend, and I was like, we're doing a podcast. We're going to reconnect, and we're going to reconnect hard.
This might be the most unconventional way to reconnect, but it is exactly what we're doing.
Right. And I don't think of a better way than to do it on a podcast. And our podcast is basically, we're taking yours, and we're going to do it harder, better, faster, stronger, and hornier.
Oh, there's so many podcasts out there that we could do better.
Oh, all of them. I think every single one. So, like I said, hand it over. Sorry, it's ours now for at least one episode.
So in studio today, we've got Neil deGrasse Tyson. So we're talking.
Yeah, he's
do Joe Rogan better.
Hey.
We'll just do Joe Rogan better.
Neil, are you urinating? Oh, God.
Neil, we've never been to the moon. That's what I hear. Would you like to elaborate?
Oh, he left. He's gone. Well, damn it.
Well, offended.
That was a really good first guest on a podcast.
We were coming after Joey Rogues right at the beginning.
Oh, Neil, you're back. Oh, no, he forgot his sandwich. I got him a hoagie.
He does look like the kind of guy. He strikes me as the astrophysicist that would love a sandwich.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
At any moment of the day.
This Capicoli, did you know where it comes from? It has nothing to do with space, but it's information I have, and I'm willing to share.
What is the best sandwich?
The best sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
In your opinion, in your life, all the sandwiches that we've had.
I've been going hard on just the breaded chicken sandwiches. They sell them at Publix. They sell them at Wawa. And you can get breaded, chicken finger sandwiches.
It's like a Publix chicken tender sub.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been going hard on those. And, I get them loaded up. Jalapenos. Black olives.
Banana peppers.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta throw the banana peppers on.
Pickles.
If you got jalapenos.
Pickles, mustard, all that jazz.
I'm a honey mustard man.
Oh, so is my daughter.
Oh, she's a honey mustard man?
Mm-hmm.
Your daughter's a honey mustard
man? She's a honey mustard man.
Whoa. I found myself, I've become more akin to a Reuben.
A Reuben?
I don't like sauerkraut, but when you put it on a Reuben.
That's corned beef?
Corned beef or pastrami.
Oh.
In North Carolina, they did it with turkey.
Oh.
My tummy's so sleepy.
Our first podcast that we're stealing, a very popular type of podcast. So, one of the first ideas that I had for stealing someone's podcast, and it's a very popular theme, and there are lots of podcasts that do it, just spooky stories.
Do you think there's litigation involved?
Litigation?
If you're openly saying that we're stealing a podcast?
No, I've looked at IP.
Oh, you've looked it up?
Yeah.
Okay,
I looked it up. Unless they copyright trademark it, and in all honesty, it's themed. So everyone does podcasts. You know, they do spooky story podcasts and comedy. You can't IP comedy.
How great would it be to find out a way to
Now,
to do that.
Now, if we stole their names and the title of their podcast,
This is Two Bears, One Cave with Michael Riley and Jeremy Ragsdale.
I saw it's Burt Kreischer, right?
Burt Kreischer and Tom Segura.
Tom Segura, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that scrolling through the other day, and I was like, I need to give that one a listen. But I have lots of ideas. I have lots of stuff on the back burner, and for number one, I wanted to go spooky stories because I have one, you have one, and we may be able to grab a couple of other people's with some phone calls. So what I'm going to do is I would like you to go with your story first if you got it loaded up.
I don't have it loaded up. Spooky stories. There's so many. Well, actually, there is one coming to mind, and it's something that you and your brother told me when I was really little.
Okay.
And our grandmother, Inga Bubba, she's been married a lot of times. Right?
5 times.
5 times.
She's gone through every branch of the military.
That 5 times that we know of. And the house that she lived in when I was born, when I was a tiny child, your grandfather was different than my grandfather.
Right.
We had 2 different grandfathers.
Mine ran a brothel.
Right. And as far as I can tell, mine was just a mob something, just getting envelopes.
Whitey?
No, yours was Whitey.
No. My mom's father was, I don't even remember his name. He died, I think, like 8 years ago.
You didn't have Whitey?
No,
no. I could have swore that was the guy who was there.
No, Whitey was not Mom's dad.
No, I had Papa Bear.
Yeah, you had Papa Bear.
I had Papa Bear.
Yeah.
So Whitey existed. I didn't remember Whitey, but you guys did.
Yeah.
He used to give you guys like $1 or some candy or something when you'd see him. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
So I remember we were all over there for some kind of family get-together, and we all stayed the night. And you and your brother told me that Inga Bubba murdered her husband and buried him under the baseboards of the living room where we were sleeping.
Oh.
So if you could listen carefully, I remember you telling me this. And this makes sense because Edgar Allan Poe, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. You said, if you listen really closely, Jeremy, you can still hear his heartbeat underneath the base floor. And so I'm laying there at night. Everyone's asleep.
I must have just read Telltale
Heart. Right? We were so young. But I remember laying there and I could hear it. I could hear it. Boom, 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 boom. And I didn't even know who Whitey was, but I could hear it because it was all happening in my head. But I thought it was so real.
Well, he was a multiple amputee. He lost both of his legs to surgery due to diabetes.
As did Papa Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, that's a whole nother subject if you want to get into that.
Was our grandmother injecting diabetes into her husband's?
It's the Black Widow. Inga Bubba, the Black Widow.
She's outlived all of them.
Every single one of them.
Oh my God.
Has this gone from spooky stories to unsolved mysteries?
Oh my gosh, maybe. She had quite the colored past. She was a counterfeiter.
The biggest in the country.
And that was that with Whitey? Was Whitey?
It was. It was with Whitey.
No, it wasn't.
It was. It was with Whitey.
Right, yeah. My grandpa did the brothel. Whitey did the counterfeiting with Grandma. They counterfeited over, what was it, $1.3 million. It
was $6 million in 20s.
It was $6 million? Yeah, she had a plate, and then she hid it underneath the deck of the house they were living in New York State.
Is that what you were told?
We've always talked about going out and finding these plates.
Were you told New York?
Yeah.
Under the deck?
Yeah.
Because I've been told it's in the house over Tennessee overlooking a river, and it's in the 3rd step going up the stairs. There was a little gap in the steps, and they slid the plate, and it's in Tennessee. It's right off a river. I actually have the name of the river.
I may have remembered incorrectly. It may have been Tennessee.
I just knew it was
in the stairs of the deck.
I've been grilling our our Inga Bubba about it in her old age, in her old senile age. She's just been giving up secrets. And I love secrets.
Feds came in, took our grandma, all of our aunts and uncles and parents went into foster care, and they grew up in foster care. Our grandma fired her warden while she was in prison because she got a job as the financial officer for the prison on work release. So she handled the finances of the prison. The warden was he was embezzling, and she got to fire her own warden at the prison she was in.
You know, saying this out loud now, do you think that maybe there's people out there connected to this still?
Oh, I don't know.
Firing off family secrets.
Oh, maybe. You know, we'll unpack that later. But spooky stories. Have you ever experienced any type of actual physical haunting?
As you get older, right, and when you're younger and you think about it, you think that's terrifying things that are happening to you, and then you get older. Maybe it's like the effect of Peter Pan, right? When you're a lost boy, it's like, oh, all of this is so real and it's all happening, and then you grow up. It's like, oh, it was just a fantasy,
right?
So I can't
easily
even say
explained away.
I can't even say for sure if they've been true hauntings.
All right, so if you don't have anything particularly pronounced,
no, fill me up with your spooky stories so I may reminisce about mine.
All right, so my wife and I were living in this loft apartment in Melbourne, Florida. Is called Caribbean Isle. And one of the style apartments was this big open floor plan, 2-story, and the bedroom overlooked the rest of the apartment downstairs. So you kind of went up this small staircase up into the bedroom, and then there was a balcony looking down into the living room and kitchen area. And so the entirety of the apartment was one giant room. There were no walls separating really anything. You just had height.
Right.
You know. So I used to work for a company called, I'm not going to name the company because F them. And I don't want to give them any airtime. But I worked for a very large chain storage company. And there was a group of people that came in. They said, hey, listen, this person's passed away. We've taken everything that we need to take out of the unit. Can you guys just get rid of everything else? And we were like, sure. So they leave, and we're like, this stuff is fair game.
This is ours. This is ours now.
Because we're either going to call a company to either trash it or call one of our auction buyers to be like, hey, you want some free stuff? And then they'll kind of take everything, and then anything of value they'll be able to resell. But either way, the stuff gets out. We can re-rent the unit and then move on with our lives.
No, I also hear fair game. That's right. It's mine to refurbish.
Fair game.
Yes.
So we go in. I go in by myself, find a couple of decent Christmas ornaments that I thought were really cool, and then I found this diary. And it was a diary of the woman who had passed, and it was set in the low to mid 1990s, and
it just after the Wild West.
It was her
the booming world
in the 90s.
Oh, they said 19.
No, the 1900s. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was the diary was her vacation to see Bok Tower in the highest point in Florida. So they were going to see Bok Tower, and there's like old-timey photos in the diary. There's her entire recollection of the summer. Her uncle was like building this canoe. They were staying in a cabin and just kind of enjoying their summer. And
old-timey photos.
And I was like,
it's like The Shining.
I can't throw this away. No one's going to see value in this. It's this woman's story that she had, constructed and saved. And, it was like this really cool thing. So I was like, I'm not going to let this get thrown away. So I brought it home. And so I've never believed in ghosts. Like, I'm just going to make that fact the basis for the beginning of this story. Everything is explainable. People who believe in ghosts are just ignoring the fact that there's just something that you may not be able to explain. It doesn't mean it's a goddamn ghost. So I bring this thing home. I read it. I show my wife.
You're reading this person's diary.
Yeah, I'm reading a diary. She's gone. In reality, you leave a diary for someone to find in the future. Tell me that's why you wouldn't write a diary.
And I mean, how interesting is it just to read? It's a glimpse of history.
I have diaries. from when I was a kid, and I'll read those and be like, "This is what I sounded like, and this is who I was when I was this age, and I was a fucking moron." But
Oh, what a weirdo dweeb!
yeah, I'm just
Such
like,
a
oh,
dweeb.
cringe. I just have never been that person. I've never accepted ghosts as a actual viable reason why something was happening.
What's this lady's name?
I don't remember.
Don't remember.
I have put that out of my mind so hard that
Okay.
I remember a couple of facets, and that's it.
So you're reading the diary. You took it home.
Oh, my dishwasher's done. Stop
At least
beeping.
it
Stop
lets you know.
Okay.
You could have go all day. Are they still washing? Are my dishes even clean? You don't know until it beeps.
That's true. So bring it home. Bring home the diary, and I read it, and then stuff starts happening. Okay, that's the best way I can explain it. And some examples of that is, I'll be sitting in the living room, and something will just fall over, and be like, "Ah, that wasn't stacked very well." The flap for the trash can, same trash can. It's got a flappy top.
That's the same trash can.
Same trash can. So it'll just, all of a sudden I'll look over, I'll just see it go. And I'm like, oh, obviously there was, someone probably put a new bag in there, and then the suction, and then you threw trash in there, and it settles, and it may have been stuck, and then all of a sudden, it settles, and then the flap
There's
can come
clearly
free.
an explanation for
Yeah,
this.
so boom, donezo. The trash settled in the trash can, it caused the flap to move. And then, again, something falls over. And then it started happening at night, and really bad. So, like I said, set up for the apartment, bedroom, one giant room, whole apartment, balcony overlooking, so I can hear everything that's happening in the living room, the kitchen, everything.
And you're just a few steps away. You get up out of bed. You can just lean over this balcony and see your whole apartment.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be in bed, and then just hear counter slam, or cabinet door close. Another cabinet door open and close. The bathroom door had a squeaky hinge. And so when that door opened or closed, at least from the normal position that it's in, usually it's just open because you open the door when you leave the bathroom, you just leave it open. Hey, no one's in here, bathroom's available. And that first creak happens when you start closing the door, and then it goes silent. But it always creaks the moment it starts going. So we're just like, the AC kicked on, caused a little thing, and it's right at the beginning of the squeak.
The AC's ripping open cabinets and pushing doors.
Yeah, so the air conditioning is the thing that's causing things to move. And it just didn't stop. And it got worse, and I could hear footsteps up the stairs leading up to our bedroom. And I was always too terrified to look.
Because what if you actually looked over the balcony
And
saw
there'd be
something?
a pause, and then back down the stairs. Gently, but you can hear it.
Up the stairs. So if I remember this place that you're talking about, it's actually a stairwell. It goes up one way, and then it turns and goes up to the loft.
So walks forward, hard left, back up in the same direction that you came, just higher up.
These
like a normal
stomps
stairwell.
That you heard, did they go up that turn, or did they just go up that first flight and then go back down?
No, they went through the whole turn.
Like it was, if something walked up, it was looking right at you.
And the sounds your feet make when you between hitting the stairs and then hitting that first platform and then back up the stairs towards the bedroom, there's a different sound your feet make, and it did that.
So it made the complete transition
made
of going up and then
up
back
and
down.
down.
I'm a little scared right now.
All right, so
just thinking about it.
That was the moment, and I was like, something is wrong. And it just, night after night, and this went on for about a month and a half total. So during this month and a half, you'd hear someone going through the silverware drawer. This woman's fucking cooking a turkey dinner for all I know. She's going through everything in my kitchen. She's a kitchen person. And
So these kids don't have a turkey baster?
the noises got so bad, and we were still in denial, just trying to explain what's going on. We got a white noise machine for the bedroom, just to have some ambient noise to drown out the weird sounds
The
we would
AC.
hear. The AC kicking
the
on,
AC
and opening everything,
antics.
and cooking turkeys, and and going through my silverware. The AC. Anyway, we bought a white noise machine. It was time for bed. I turn on the machine. I turn off the lights. I say goodnight. And we sit there. And there's a sliding glass door that leads to a balcony from our bedroom. So the sliding glass door is right next to our bed. It's taking up one wall. And it's just a very small balcony overlooking the parking lot. And I turn on the machine. We say goodnight. About 5 or 6 seconds goes by, and then it sounded like someone slamming their hand up against the glass, and I was like, bird just flew into the glass. That poor bird. And I shoot out of bed, and I just rip the curtains open up the door, nothing's there. And the sound is in like, and so I just kind of hit the glass with my hand. I was like, that's the same sound. So we turn on all the lights. We didn't go to bed for the rest of the night. And we're just like, we have to call somebody. The night after, this is, we're already talking about calling somebody. The reason that we called somebody is the day after that, Kaylin and I both woke up and we had gone to sleep. It wasn't so bad that night, and we got a little bit of sleep. We were so tired, and I was like, man, I had a weird dream last night. And she goes, I had a really weird dream last night. And she starts talking about hers, and she's like, I'm in the living room. I was like, I was in the living room. And she goes, and I turned over and looked at the kitchen. I was like, and it was just in my brain, yeah, that's what I did. And she's like, and then this shadow came out of I was like, the bathroom? And she goes, yeah. And I was like, was it holding a Fanta? She goes, no, it wasn't holding a Fanta. I was like, mine was holding a Fanta.
What flavor Fanta was it?
It was an orange Fanta.
Was it orange Fanta? The best kind of Fanta.
It was and mine was like a more humanoid shadow, and it just walks out of the bathroom and it's holding a Fanta. I was like, this bitch loves Fantas. And she goes, well, mine's a little bit different. I was like, yeah, but you were in the living room. You look over at the bathroom and you see something come out. I was like, that's what happened to me. Yours may not have been holding a Fanta, but that's ridiculous. So we both have this insanely similar dream, and in the same night. And I was like, okay, church people.
Who do we call?
Church people. And so we called.
Wait. So you had the idea you had to call somebody, and,
yeah.
And just like I would also think church people. I need to find the religious people who fight the demon.
Right.
It's no longer my AC, it is a demon. So like, was there a second thought? Real? Did you guys immediately agree on, or what religious sect did you think of first? Did you go Catholic priest?
We went Presbyterian.
Wow. Explain that one to me. How
it
you
was
show up with...
more convenient. And they said yes. So dude,
I don't think I've ever seen that exorcism movie with the Presbyterian church coming in to... But maybe that's why it always goes sour in the movies. They should have called the Presbyterians.
Sin is bad. Just ask for forgiveness in your own time, I guess. As long as you do it.
Hey, AC Demon, could you please probably leave these people alone, please?
The experience was similar in reality. So,
all right, tell me about the Presbyterian. Tell me what you did.
So he comes in, young guy. I don't know, 27.
16.
27. I think I'm 22. 22 when this is going down. This is about 11 years ago. And the guy comes in, and he brings anointed oil. And I was like, nice. We're on the right track. You got some special Jesus shit? You're literally going to exercise this thing. Okay, cool. So he starts putting the oil on the door frames and the windows, and then he gets I give him the backstory, and he goes, okay, she's just stuck. She needs help finding that's all it is.
So he,
and I was like,
he immediately.
I was like, how confident are you? And he's like, oh, I'm 100% positive.
Well, he went with she.
Yeah, I told him it was the lady.
Because the diary.
I gave him the spiel.
You gave him the spiel, but why do we automatically assume that it's the girl who wrote the diary?
That was my best guess.
I mean, I get that, but for him to just fall back into it, like he didn't have any kind of other explanation.
No, I mean he wasn't a what are they called? He wasn't a psychic, right? So he didn't like feed on anything. He was just like, I'm here to do a job. So I give him the information. We make this educated guess, and he starts talking to her. He's like, listen, you're stuck. We understand. You just need to find where the light's at and just go towards it. And so he did that in all the rooms of the house. And Then he left. And we went to bed that night, and it was the quietest, most like, I didn't realize that my apartment could be so quiet. Literally the night after this guy came in and was just like, "Go to the light, bitch." He's like, "You have no business here."
So it's the most quiet night. Did you have, when you were laying there?
Nothing happened after that.
So, but you laid there in your bed and you had a realization of, it's silent in here. I actually feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Did you attribute that to anything? Was it?
I was waiting with bated breath for
something
the
to go
normal
down.
bumbling sounds.
So when the calm came over you, this Presbyterian, he did it.
My understanding is dude came in, told this bitch to go to the light, and she did.
And she did. She listened to him.
Because nothing happened after that. And I still, to this day, am like, that old bitch just followed my ass home because I took her stuff. And she's like, "I guess I live here now." Like, that was her plan. That's what it seemed like, at least. So I have a treat for you. I didn't get rid of the diary.
You have the diary.
I still have it. I had to go to the storage unit this morning.
That was the relic you told me when I was coming over. You called it the relic.
Yeah. So I have the origin thing here in this box. Do you want to see it? I have not touched it or opened it since the incident 11 years ago.
Did you put something in that box, though? Like,
No.
I'm going to open it up and something's going to, like, jump out at me after hearing this creepy-ass story?
No, it's just a box of what I would call memorabilia.
Is it locked?
It's not locked. I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to hand it to you, and you can read through it for our listeners.
The diary.
Yes.
You have the actual diary
I have
still.
It's in this box right here that I have.
But what if I read it and this thing just was waiting in your trash can, and then it jumps out of your fucking trash can, and then it follows me home?
That's the risk involved right now.
In episode 1?
I'm going hard. Okay, so
you said hard and horny at the beginning of the episode.
Hard and horny. This book
I am getting a little hard thinking about it.
So, I'm still terrified because I don't know. As far as I know, this bitch went towards the light, and she's living it up somewhere.
Well, did you ever think about what I brought up earlier, that maybe it wasn't her? Maybe there was no her going to the light? Did you finish the diary? Have you read it back to back? Does she have a crazy story?
I read the whole thing, and like I said, I don't remember a ton. This was over a decade ago. So I'm going to let you flip through it, and maybe you can read a couple of sections to our audience.
That's a terrifying proposition that you brought up to me right now. Let me see the box. Let me see the box. Let's describe the box. Well, first of all, because the box is interesting.
It's a wine crate that I painted white and started graffitiing over in college.
And that makes sense. Okay, so I see UCF.
Yep.
Hunter
Punch with the Kool-Aid man.
Hunter Punch.
Because,
the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, Hunter would make this stuff. It's Kool-Aid and booze, and we called it Hunter Punch.
Hunter juice. Yeah, Hunter Punch. Right. Yeah. Okay.
And then it's got Bailey's, creamy
beige. Creamy beige.
Hey, do you like Bailey's?
And I see classic Ja.
Yep, Ja. My
Ja
catchphrase.
Going across the top.
Ja, for our listeners, I'm really hoping that you understand. There is a gentleman who stole my catchphrase. And I have been saying Ja since, 2005?
Since we were children, yeah.
2005. So Ja, Jyeah, Ja, okay? And then you know who comes in with, like, a similar one, and he does it like a fucking douchebag? Ryan Lochte.
Ryan Lochte?
Yeah. He even has shoes where he puts his catchphrase on them, and he goes, I think it's like, Ja.
Who's Ryan Lochte?
Ryan Lochte? He's a swimmer.
He's what?
He's a swimmer. An Olympic swimmer.
He's
douchebag bro. Yeah.
Ryan Lockley?
Lochte.
Lochte.
Ryan Lochte.
Locked in that D. Lochte.
Oh, what a great what great content.
So he took Ja?
He did his own version. I think it was like Jea. Ja. And mine's Ja.
Ja. We out here swimming. Ja.
Ja.
But no, yours has always been like Ja.
Mine's Ja.
Ja.
Ja. All right. So,
So it's got Jill.
Yeah, it's written
over
on the
top
box.
of it.
There is a nematode, which was my buddy's frog.
Which are also swimmers.
There's the Pick of Destiny. There's a dragon.
Don't kick the box. Don't kick the box. There's something inside there I'm scared of. Don't kick that
Marjorie
box.
Stewart Baxter.
So are you
Salad Fingers? Have you ever seen Salad
Oh, I
Fingers?
love salad fingers.
The feeling of rust
was-
on my salad fingers
I was so-
is almost orgasmic.
So terrified of salad fingers when I first saw it. It took me actually a couple years after first seeing it to finish the actual play it from beginning to end.
It's actually got all of them. It's got Marjorie Stewart Baxter, Jeremy Fisher,
Jeremy Fisher,
and
Hubert Cumberdale.
Hubert Cumberdale. All right, let me see the
ready?
box. I don't want to touch it yet, though. Let me see the. Is that Weezer on there too? I think I see a Weezer. Old tapes. Are those our old radio cassette tapes?
So I want you to
That's
start
not the actual diary.
by describing what you
Don't
see.
push that towards me. Take it back by yourself.
There it is. There it is.
Hold on. Where's this plastic chicken? Here.
So describe what you see.
It's a brown leather book about 8 inches wide and 10 inches long, maybe.
No, God, no. That's probably about 5 inches, from top to bottom, and probably about 6 left to right.
So it's about 2 feet wide.
It's massive on the table.
It's this little.
Remember
leather...
those old atlases? She wrote
that
it
would
in
just
an old
fold
atlas
out.
book. Yeah,
Is that I see? It says autographs.
it's an old autographs book. It was a very popular type of book.
In the
back
1900s?
in the day. Yeah, so people would fill this with people's signatures, and it's very old. We have patinaed paper sticking out through the the outside of the book. So it says autographs, and why don't you open it?
Do you have something I can touch it with? Do I have to use my
Touch it with your
hands
fingers. You don't want to give the thing power, okay? It is inert. It is an inert thing, and if we give it power, something bad may happen. Probably. Let's just.
Okay, so it's Sorry, I just opened it up and I saw the first page. I had to immediately close it. Hold on.
And what we're going to do is we're going to put photos.
It's definitely been read through and written in. You can tell looking at it from its side profile that the pages are worn for sure. I'm a little. I don't know if I like this.
We're gonna put pictures of this on our Instagram for viewers to see. So you guys will be able to go to our Instagram and take a look at this thing for yourselves. But yeah, go ahead and pick a page.
No, I'm gonna start with page 1.
Okay.
Which to the left is a old Polaroid of a older lady. She lived in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's palm trees behind her. She's sitting in a old wooden chair, kind of like the ones you can buy at Home Depot that are made of plastic now.
Yeah.
It's that same style, but it's actual wood.
Right.
And that's on the left-hand side, and it says, dedicated to our mother, and what is that, Swedish? Is that what that says? Oh, you haven't seen this in...
That's 11 years.
Grandma would love Merle, Teddy, and Byron.
Yeah, Byron. I remember Byron.
Okay, so this is March 25th, 1951.
Ah.
Is the first page.
Okay.
So, kind of, now I just want to keep going page to page. I can jump.
Yeah, you can jump. There's more photos throughout the entire thing.
Are there more photos?
Yeah. There's a photo of Bok Tower.
51, Teddy and Byron. So it seems like the first couple pages are just dedications, which, is that a thing that they do?
I don't know.
In diaries, dedications? Is that...
She may have categorized this as her own book for her summer vacation.
Oh, man. Thursday, December 21st, 1950. Oscar brought Ma to our house at 5 a.m., left our house at 5:20. So it's already starting off. Just reading that beginning, that's weird that she would even categorize. Is that... You said you had diaries. I never really did the
This is
diary thing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
She's what is insignificant thing to actually track the time, or I guess 1950. What else were stopped at? The Indiana. I don't know that town name. Oh, you won't touch this. This town name for gas. Took a few. I can't even read some of this.
All right. Oh God.
Here, I'm handing it over. Mike, touch this.
It is all very neat cursive.
It is very. It's very perfect.
Our first night lodging was at the Cartel Motel, 12 miles north of Nashville, Tennessee. Miles from home. This was a very clean place. 2 rooms adjoined by a door, each with a shower, stall, and bath. Electrically lighted. Electrically lighted. Ooh, that was fancy for them, yeah.
Oh, look at us.
Cottage also had an enclosed garage. All right, let's skip through a few. So Friday, December 22nd, 1950. Left the motel at White Rock, Tennessee at 5:10 a.m. Had breakfast at Manchester, Tennessee at the Manchester Cafe. Drove through the mountains near Chattanooga, Tennessee. The scenery was beautiful. Sorry, this cursive is kind of difficult.
It's perfect. It's almost like chicken scratch to me.
Had the mountains in sight even after lunch. Had lunch at a schoolhouse just outside of Dalton, Georgia. In the city of Dalton was a beautifully Presbyterian church situated on a...
Let me see that.
That's what it says, man. Oh, God.
A beautiful...
I had no idea.
That is a Presbyterian. That is exactly what that says. It's got to be.
Oh, hey,
Presbyterian church.
There's 2
situated
photos on the back.
On a...
Your hands are touching the photos.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your hands are touching the photos on the back.
Oh.
There you go.
Beautiful Presbyterian church situated on a corner in the yard.
Yeah, dude. Okay. Skipping through. Okay, let's see when they get to Florida.
Just making their way down south.
Making my way. Okay.
Does it have her name? What's her name? Have we found her name in there yet?
Here's a picture of a beautiful moss-covered tree. Spanish moss-covered tree in one of the pages. Oh, here's another creepy photograph of 2 children. All these photos are going to be... I'm going to upload the entirety.
You're going to take pictures of these pictures?
Yeah,
and upload
absolutely.
Them? This is... I mean, it's actually classic Americana. It kind of looks like they're floating a little bit. Are they floating in this picture?
I don't think so. I didn't look at it hard enough.
Hold on. So what I'm looking at is 2 kids, like that classic Americana. They've got the old baseball cap with the long. It's kind of like an elongated brim on the baseball cap, and they're all wearing all black, almost like they're going to a. Is that a church? They might be going into a church, but Mike, take a look at this because I think they're floating in that picture.
No, they're not. They're not floating.
Look at that picture. Tell me they're not floating.
They're not floating.
Look at the shadow underneath that one child.
That's not a shadow.
What is it?
Look at the chair. If you look at the chair behind him, the shadow is going backwards. They're standing in front of their shadows.
Let me see it again.
So if you look at the boy on the left, you'll see next to his leg, you'll see the rest of his shadow.
I want to believe you.
They're not floating.
It looks like that man is floating.
Okay, it's okay. It's an optical illusion. All right, found our little cabin about 8 p.m. Each, my mother and dad, surprised and delighted to see us. They didn't expect us until the next day. The background of this picture shows our 2-in cabin, 2-inch cabin. Our door and window to the right. Oh, there's the photo.
Are they floating? I'm just kidding. I swear, you're
my
gonna
2
upload.
brothers
You're
started
uploading.
floating.
You're uploading these
I
pictures.
photographed it.
You're uploading these pictures to Instagram. Please, I don't know what reference it is going to be, but those 2 kids wearing black, they are floating. Please tell me what you think about that, because I'm pretty sure they look like they're floating.
Team
but
Michael.
These distinguished people do not look like they. This is, would you say, mother and father?
Yep.
This is the mother and father of
Yep.
the person who wrote the diary.
And I guess it's a series of cabins on land, and that's where her mom and dad live, or they've already got there before their party.
Okay.
All right. Byron had a cot next to our bed. Teddy was on a cot at my folks' cabin, and Ma had her own room and bed. We put our table in her section and ate together, leaving more room for the cot. There's another 2 pictures of the family members.
This is, well, was that them just younger? Of who I just saw? Flip
Maybe,
back to the...
Maybe it is her.
They look, I mean, it looks like a younger version of the older people we just saw in the last picture.
Maybe. All right, Sunday, December 24th, 1950. Got up at 8:30, put away clothes, had breakfast, and all went to church in Sebastian. Had lunch, changed clothes, and went to the Ocean Beach at Wabasso. Wabasso, yeah, I'm familiar with that area. Came back, had tea. Dad and Ted went fishing. I wrote cards. The men came in with 10 speckled trout. Had supper, went outside, and sat with all the neighbors around the bonfire. Fixed our Christmas gifts. Mom had a tree all trimmed for the boys on a card table when they got there. That was at Ma's window. All right, and then Christmas Day, Monday, December 25th, 1950. Kids were up and had their Christmas at 7:30 a.m. Santa left an electric train. Ooh. Weather was warm in the morning with a light breeze. A beautiful day. Dad treated us all to dinner in Vero Beach, 7 miles south at Moons.
Vero Beach, we're talking about, and this is back in the 50s?
This is local to where we're at right now.
Yeah, this is back in the 50s,
She's basically lived here her entire life, or at least visited for a number of years.
And this is the heyday of this area, of it booming.
All right. Tuesday, December 26th. The 2 grandmas, which I have a photo here of the 2 grandmas, are lying low. Mom picked up... What? Lying low?
Lying low, yeah. Is that a different terminology back then?
Mom packed up around noon. Ma laid around most of the day. Teddy, Byron, and I went fishing about 10, came back and got lunch. Dad built a boat for money. Ted helped in the late afternoon while Mom and I went looks like shaggering in Vero.
The shaggering?
Shaggering.
The shaggering.
We went shaggering about. All right. I want to get to there's a beach photo. Pictures of the beach, playing in the waves. There's a kid, looks like he's riding some sort of inflatable pool horse. Is that what that looks like?
Yeah, on the sand, which was a strange choice. Usually you would do something like that in the water. You were trying to skip ahead?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going forward. I want to find the picture of Bok Tower. Maybe I'll read another excerpt on my way. Oh, there's a little house. Went to a friend of Ma's, Mrs. Johnson, in Fort Lauderdale. Visited there for a hour. Okay. There's another picture of the house. There's where's this a photo of? Looks like a racetrack.
Is that at
The flamingo birds are beautiful in color, and then in quote pink. All white swans and all black ducks were swimming in the pond where the flamingo birds were located. They had machines in the track, bleachers. Got there. Track bleachers to look at them. I read really well when it's not in weird cursive. A flamingo bird was stiffed. A flamingo bird was stuffed, which they had in a glass case. Oh, a stuffed flamingo. They had in glass case along with an egg.
I almost went to stiffed makes sense when they're standing up on that one leg. Stiffed could make.
All right, so we're into December 30th, and man, this is a lot of pages.
It's actually a pretty thick diary for how small that it is.
All right, there's some people camping. A lot of photos. All right, we're into January 3rd. Okay, more photos and more beach. Then went back to the beach. That's nice.
What's that? Is that a loose photo?
A loose photo.
Because so something we didn't mention is that you'll see in the pictures, but these photos are actually
1, 2, 3, 4,
they're
5,
held
6.
into the page.
It's a gentleman with the two boys. It looks like, and he's got a string out. Boy's got a fishing pole, and it's got about 7 fish lined up. No, 8 fish lined up. I wonder if that's the photo when they caught the 10 fish. You just don't see them all in the picture. All right, January 6th. The last day of a perfect vacation. The day was beautiful in the morning. Teddy and Grandpa picked up fruit from Mary's orchard, and then through the two Ma's and Dad went shopping in Vero. Ted and I packed, had lunch when the Angelas arrived from Cleveland. Launched Dad's boat. Everyone sang the Star-Spangled Banner. All the camps were there. Ruther John, brother. No, there's no. Looks like Ruther John came while we were having coffee. So here's Bach Tower. So here's the photos of Bach Tower that they took probably on their way back up north.
It's kind of like it's a very gothic.
Yeah, gothic looking building.
Cathedral.
Yeah.
Like a tower. Bach Tower.
Yeah. You did it.
It's the opening to Bath. You're going to upload these pictures. You got to see this. It is very gothic. It's gothic, but with palm trees.
Yeah.
Is that Bach, B-O-K?
I don't remember how it's spelled.
I was trying to spell it like Bach Turner Overdrive.
It's probably like B-A-C-H.
That's what I tried typing in. It says it here, B-O-K.
Oh, B-O-K? It could be B-O-K.
B-O-K?
Be okay, bro.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
We're Presbyterians. Yeah. Yeah. Swim towards the future. Yeah. Byron. Oh, here's a picture of little baby Byron.
Oh.
You want to see a little picture of baby Byron?
Yeah.
I wonder if that... Here. At the top, because there's actually a picture on the other page. It's the end of the book.
Byron... I'm not going to say the last name. At the Carlson's home. Carlson's home. All right. So, there it is. Back into the box it goes. So what'd you think?
We never found it. So I'm mesmerized because I need to know who she was. Who wrote the diary? Does it say anywhere in there that...
I'm sure it does.
Just got to go by it piece by piece. Find out who wrote it.
But it's just something cool. I didn't want to throw it away, so
why would you?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it was haunting you.
Right. Should have salt and burned it.
Or salted it.
You might have been I'll tell you right now, if something starts happening in the chateau, I'm salt and burning that thing once and for all.
I can't believe you have the same trash can. From the haunting.
It's the same one. A lot of stuff in here is from that old apartment. That chair.
I tried to throw this diary away 3 times, and it just kept popping up back in this box.
Pictures on the wall, yeah. So that is my spooky, scary story and show and tell.
So correct me if I'm wrong, before this, you did not believe in ghosts.
Oh, absolutely not. Zero.
But now, does it sit in the back of your mind that maybe this might be real?
When I had my daughter, I put a lot of that behind me because even if I did have a fear of something I can't see or explain, I have to be the one to make sure that I tell my daughter, hey man, don't worry about it. Ghosts ain't real. And if that's something that you have your own experience with and, things like that, she'll be able to use that information on having whatever outlook she wants to have. And right now she's 6 and ghosts don't exist, Don't worry, honey. You don't need to be worried. Ghosts aren't real. But deep down.
But deep down. Yeah. Yeah. But deep down.
So, did this spark anything in your life? There's somebody that I want to call. I'm going to attempt it.
You're going to make a call? You're going to make a phone call right now?
I'm going to make a phone call, and I want to call Jeff, because Jeff has a spooky story when he was an airman. All right, so we have stepped away. I've gotten my brother on the line, and we've all heard my kind of ghost story. Jeff, are you with us?
Yes, is this the radio?
It is. It is the radio. So,
Hi, Jeff.
So I just got done telling...
It's first time, long time. Just big fan.
So I just got done telling the story of how Kaylin and I had experienced the haunting in the lofts with the diary, and then I showed Jeremy the diary, and we read it live.
Yeah,
you just salt and burn that, man.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He made me touch it.
Yeah, Jeremy read through it. We looked at the pictures. We read through some excerpts, and
I heard it's cursed, and like now that you touched it, you're gonna have the crazy urge to journal.
Overcome with journaling. The journaling.
Uncontrollably. Journal entry number 1. I am writing in my journal right now. That's it. That's all.
It's journal time. So we just got done going through that. I told Jeremy there's another person that I know that has a shorter but very pronounced ghost story. And as I recall, it was back when you were an airman.
Yes.
You weren't out. You were out of basic training.
Yes.
So why don't you go ahead and set the stage and tell us your story.
Well, first of all, there's no stage. It wasn't a stage, but it was a dormitory. It was a refurbished dorm, and everything was pretty much new in it. Like they gutted it and rebuilt it from the ground up. And they gave me the dorm. They're like, here you go. This is where you're gonna be staying. I'm like, cool. So, in the course of like a few weeks, it made like weird noises. I couldn't put my finger on it until it sounded like a fan, like a fan was on, and it was making like kind of like a little creaking sound, like maybe it wasn't
like a ceiling fan.
Fully, yeah, like a ceiling fan, and then it was making like kind of like a creaking noise, like a ceiling fan that wasn't installed correctly, like it was kind of rocking, you know?
Yeah.
Like garbage fan. So I was like, man, I don't know what this noise is. So I told the dorm management, and when a guy in there that I kind of knew, he was just like, oh, that's weird. I was like, yeah, it must be a fan, or it sounds like a fan. He's like, oh, that's so weird. I'm like, why? He's like, well, the guy that, before we refurbished it, there was a fan in there, and he'd actually hung himself from the fan, and he was the last person to stay in that room.
Oh, wow.
And then that's how I learned.
There was a fan in the room.
This is
right.
This is a suicide room, is what you're saying? This is
a suicider?
Cool. I'll sleep well. The suicide room? This is a
suicide room.
Where people commit suicide? And then they're like, yeah. And I was like, groovy.
So you could hear the squeaking of the ceiling fan that didn't exist anymore.
Right, and if it gave off like some air, that'd be cool, but I get nothing. I just got the creepy noise.
I mean, if it kept the room cool, I would have been like, I'll suffer through it.
Right, it's great. I was like, this is a good air current, like nothing. I got nothing. So,
wow.
But yeah, I was like, that's interesting. And then, I guess the other ghost story, all right, it reminds me of when I died. Remember?
When you died?
When you died.
What are you talking about?
2 years ago when I died, remember?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't remember. What's the context?
Weird. Yeah, you're right. I forgot I died. Funny how you forget things like that.
Uh-huh. What?
Yeah.
What?
How did you die?
Did your heart stop beating?
Yeah.
What?
It was a wonderful funeral.
Oh, okay. Oh, because we're talking to a ghost.
Yeah.
And it's a haunting We're doing a
We're
haunted
doing
podcast.
We're stealing a spook scare
Yeah.
podcast.
Right.
Damn it! I'm sitting. God damn it! I'm sitting here.
Don't you remember when I
I
died?
was like, oh, he was on the.
You were at my funeral.
He was like on a surgery table somewhere, and his heart stopped, and I had no idea about it. Well,
medical malpractice. Why, oh why did I think that I should get my penis enlarged surgically?
there's too much blood flow.
That's right.
Oh my God. Well,
Should have seen it once.
Could you imagine hearing the sound of a fan all the time, but you couldn't feel the effects of it?
yeah, that'd be really, really. I think that's like a double whammy.
It's Chinese water
It's
torture.
it's an itch that you can't scratch. Is what that is.
Yeah. Did it ever stop?
No, it would do it random times. Like it wasn't like all the time.
Right.
It'd just be random.
Were your dorm neighbors making sweet, passionate, slow love to each other?
And we only do it on Tuesdays.
Squeak, squeak.
Well, it was the male dorm, so I guess it was 2008. yeah. Well, also, that could have been the case had I had, suite mates or neighbors.
Sweet mates was right. I like that. I prefer sweet mates.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what
Gives
that's
it
where
some
you
class.
Share
Well, I appreciate you telling us
Well,
your
no,
story. Is there anything else that you can think of that you may want to share that's germane to our episode today?
Yeah, kind of, sad you messed up my joke, but it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm just gonna kill myself right now.
Oh no!
Well, that'll make for a better story.
It will. And we never saw him or heard from him again.
Jeff committed suicide at 12:15, and your podcast went on till 1:45. Ooh.
Remember that time that I died 5 minutes after your podcast was done?
That's a good fiction podcast right there. It's like it's your last will and testament, but it's a podcast released.
Oh wow!
After.
We might have to steal that.
Put it on the Patreon.
Right? Episode 35. Last will and testament.
It's my personal private thoughts.
But anyway, did you have any other stories? Jeff, you still with us?
Yeah, my head was vibrating.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was Jeremy's phone. It was going bananas.
Or a
Sure.
new haunting.
Yeah, it wasn't a ghost.
Your
not a
phone
ghost.
got haunted.
Oh gosh, I don't know if can I return it? My phone is haunted. I hear voices.
Oh, that was good. Okay.
Well, love you, man.
All right,
Thank you for the story.
Thank you, gents. Thanks.
Oh.
Thanks for.
Did you
inviting
want
me
to
on the
plug?
podcast.
Did you want to plug your podcast while we got you on the air?
Yes, but the one should be only one more episode of Los Podcast Hermanos. It's a Better Call Saul podcast, and we only have one more episode, which is the finale, and then we are switching gears into a new podcast, which is not quite as pigeonholed into one show. So, yeah.
The future
So, I got
is
that going
now.
All right. So you ready to do a Better Call Saul podcast next week, Jeremy?
Just pick up where they left
Like
off.
you have to finish it. You have to finish Better
Oh,
Call
I've
Saul.
been
You just
working.
like,
I've been
I
working my ass off. I've been working my ass off
like-
trying to get these episodes in
I
so
think-
I can do a podcast about it one time.
my big joke tomorrow is going to be like, oh, I didn't see it, guys, but so if we could just be as spoiler free as possible, I'd appreciate it. And I was like, I'll go first. I can't believe that thing happened with the guy, and it was crazy, right? And then it ended.
Well, good luck to your endeavors on that. All right, again, that's Los Podcast Hermanos. There is going to be a
Yes.
transition on the name, correct?
Yes, Box Cutter.
So Box
That's going to
Cutter,
be the new
the
which is a
post-mortem
Breaking Bad.
name.
Fitting.
bad reference to the legendary Box Cutter Gus Fring uses in season 4, episode 1.
Ah,
If
understood.
you haven't seen it, watch the episode, then you'll understand.
Yeah, I'm getting through the rest of season 3. Season 4 is coming up for me, so I'll be able to get
Very good.
context on that. Well, thank you so much for joining
Well,
us.
no-
We really appreciate it.
No problem.
And again, that's Box Cutter. And where can they find your podcast?
Wherever you get podcasts. I know it's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for sure.
Okay.
You can also go to there's also a website. Just Google Lost Podcast Hermanos, but I think that'll take you to an Apple podcast link.
Understood. All right, Jeff, you have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
All right, bye. All right, so that was my brother Jeff, also your cousin,
Yes.
and yeah, spooky, wacky, wild stuff.
You'd think that with the fan still not being there, but the haunting of a ghost, that it would still chill the room.
Maybe it did. Maybe he just never put it together. Maybe it was just a colder room sometimes, and it was in Texas. You know, they got cold nights, so it may have been very easily explained away. But yeah, creepy things. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed our conversation today and our haunted podcast, our creepy, spooky, haunted podcast. Which actually may end up becoming legitimately haunted after we have unleashed hell upon my chateau.
On the Presbyterian God, I hope not.
So what we are going to be doing is you can go to our Instagram, which will be listed at the end of this recording, to view photos of the actual diary and some of the photos and some of the excerpts found within. And we'll be updating that with any visual representation of any episode. We have a Patreon. From there, you can view some of Jeremy and I's interactions, reconnecting, talking about our lives, where we've been, where we plan on going, what's going on now, and just us shooting the shit, catching up, and I'm sure hilarity will ensue. So you can find that at our Patreon. We'll plug that, and there'll probably be a website, a P.O. box. We're going to be running for, some sort of local government.
Mayor.
We're going to be running for mayor together as a team mayor. Because we figured we'd go ahead and take that too. We're on a rampage, Jeremy. Michael and Jeremy steal your podcast. I am the titular Michael.
And I'm Jeremy.
And you guys can tune in. We still haven't decided if we're going weekly or bi-weekly. We're going to see where the wind takes us. We may shit daily.
It's 2022. We might go bi-weekly.
It's totally fine.
100% accepted to go bi-weekly.
All right. Anyway, love you guys.
Love you.
If you got somebody who's been real naughty and their podcast needs to be stolen to put them in their place, we're the ones to call. Just leave the money underneath the rock by the side of 95, and we'll come grab that, and you can consider that podcast stolen.
You tell me their podcast, and we'll do that podcast better.
Better, faster, stronger,
Better.
hornier.
That's it.
Okay? So, all right, guys. You have a good one. Peace. Hey, everybody. We had a lot of fun here today. This is Future Michael coming at you, and just had a couple of tidbits for everybody in regards to information. So, yes, we are on the internet, and we can be found at MJSYPOD on Instagram and Twitter. Photos of the Haunted Journal can be found on our Instagram for your viewing pleasure, so you can dive as deep as we did, perhaps even a little deeper. Also on Twitter, if you go to our page at MJSYPOD on Twitter, you can use the hashtag I put the money under the rock by 95 if you want us to heist another podcast. It's very straightforward and not difficult at all. MajizzyPod, MJSYPOD.com is our email address. You can also email us at UHJYEAH at majizzypod.com. Just wanted to thank Lydia Can't Breathe for allowing us to use their song Sheep as our theme song. They have a new single out now called Electric Powder. They also have a show coming up October 8th. It's called the Backyard Smokeout. It's hosted by Supa Dave from 1011 WJRR over at Club 52 here in Melbourne. I'll make sure to leave links to get tickets on our description thingy. The main event of that show is their lead vocalist / guitarist Kyle is going to wrestle a midget. He's going to wrestle a midget who's a midget wrestler, and we'll see how that goes. That sounds fun. And you can get your tickets at blindanxietyentertainment.com. So that's it. Also, Michael, you overall did a pretty poor job remembering things this episode. Number one, You said Lauer. That was obviously our. You kept saying it was the summer vacation. It was obviously Christmas. You didn't even mention that. How dumb of a fuck you were by just repeatedly saying summer vacation, you dumbass. The shaggering, it was obviously shopping. You piece of shit. You know, they even said they went shopping later on. Context clues, motherfucker. Also, I'm pretty sure the diary was like 8 years ago, not 11. You dumbass. There's just a hole, just riddled with holes. You need to do better next time, okay? This is future Michael, and just it's shameful sometimes hearing you talk. All right, everybody, love you. Bye. Oh, if you're gonna laugh, try and laugh away. It spikes on the recording.
I like to spike.
So you can laugh. Just do it over here.
Just go profile. Change my profile.
Yeah. It's a podcast trick.
All right.
Like when you cough.
So I thought you were supposed to cough right into it.
Oh yeah, that was something that was very popular back in the 90s, and it just went away.
Like eating food.
Oh no, that's more popular now.
Is it more popular?
It's called ASMR.
Well, ASMR,
Yeah.
Right? What? I mean, what? That's me eating pho.
Well, we just dubbed a porno.
And we're gonna do it better and harder and more horny.
That's right. That's right.